Abraham and Sarah spent decades building a life and household together across the ancient Near East. But in the city of Hebron, at 127 years old, Sarah dies. The account in Genesis 23 focuses on Abraham's immediate reaction. The text records that he came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. This private grief quickly meets a legal reality. Abraham is a ger v'toshav, a stranger and resident alien. Despite his wealth and his years in the region, he owns no land in Canaan. He has nowhere to bury her. Sarah's death forces a decision on permanence. Without a grave, there is no physical anchor for the family's history in this land. Abraham approaches the local Hittites, specifically a man named Ephron, and asks to purchase the Cave of Machpelah as a burial site. Ephron offers to give the land and the cave to Abraham as a gift. Abraham refuses. He insists on a formal purchase. He weighs out 400 shekels of silver. At the time, this was a significant fortune for a simple field in the cave. Abraham insisted on the high price because a gift can be rescinded or contested by future generations. A purchase deed secures the site. This structure in Hebron stands today as a result of that transaction, a physical anchor for the family's past. These stone walls illustrate the irreversible reality Abraham faced. He has secured a place for the dead, but the family's living space remains empty. Time passes, and Isaac remains unmarried. The text later suggests he is still living in the shadow of his mother's death. Abraham calls his senior servant and demands a solemn oath. He tasks the man with finding a wife for Isaac, but he strictly forbids choosing a local Canaanite woman. The servant must travel back to Abraham's ancestral home in Aram Naharaim. Abraham is looking for someone who shares the specific values and character that Sarah once brought to their household. The outcome of this journey will determine if Isaac remains isolated or if the family can begin to move forward. The servant reaches a well outside the city at evening. He establishes a specific test of character to identify the right woman. This diagram shows the volume required to hydrate 10 camels, compared to a standard water jug. The test is demanding. The woman must not only offer the servant a drink, but volunteer to water all 10 of his camels. It represents hundreds of gallons of labor for a stranger. Rebekah arrives and immediately begins to work. The text describes her running back and forth to the well, plunging her jug into the water to fill the troughs for the animals. She displays the same tireless hospitality that defined Sarah's role in the family. When her family is asked if she will go, Rebekah agrees to leave immediately. She chooses to follow a stranger into a distant land to join a family she has never met. Rebekah possesses the energy and kindness needed to fill the void Sarah left behind. In the Negev, we see the environment where Isaac has been living. This landscape highlights the isolation he has felt since his mother's death. He is out in the field at sunset, meditating alone. He looks up and sees the caravan approaching. Rebekah sees him from a distance, dismounts from her camel, and covers herself with a veil. The servant reports everything that occurred, the specific test at the well and Rebekah's decision to leave her home. A moment of wonder. Genesis 24:67 records the resolution. Isaac takes Rebekah directly into the tent of his mother, Sarah. He marries her, and he loves her. The text concludes with a simple observation. Isaac was finally comforted after his mother's death. The narrative concludes with 2 different forms of permanence. The dead are honored in the stone of the Cave of Machpelah, but the family continues because a new presence has filled the empty tent.